And a quick start from Complexity toward the B side of the map by the looks of things.
Already a flank coming in from Pop Dog though, Jordan.
Yes, indeed. And ZTR with the dualies. Not able to claim too much to start things off. Luckily, Torson's there to help him out. These dualies are just not connecting. The USPs, on the other hand, though, getting a lot of work done. Rez and Slend now also getting involved, and that is the perfect start to the map so far for GamerLegion. They've just got to make sure that they lock this one in.
Yeah, Complexity seeing what they can do in only a 2-on-5, but they've been picked apart right from the get-go. Disrupted by the double push over towards Pop Dog. CTR just looking to clean up whatever he can. Grim just looking to make some cash at this point because a 1v5 is definitely not on the cards, and that is the start you wanted to see from GamerLegion here. Disrupting Complexity as they work their way through the rest of this T side. We'll see if Complexity are going to slow this one down like they did versus Pain and start working the Ivy defaults, but no, it's back to 1-1-3 with pressure towards Inners. A lot of utility being invested over there, and it's a 1-for-1 to start things off. PR just continuing to dominate though. He's been one of the very, very fantastic players on Complexity. Oh, sorry, on GamerLegion rather.
Definitely some more inroads being made out here by Complexity in this round, and it's going to start to pull a rotate. Jeff Rez coming back across to this B bomb site. C4 in the hands of Nyx, and that'll work out nicely. Nice kill onto PR as the smoke does start to fade. So this is starting to get a little problematic for GamerLegion. They kind of just have to, I think, make a bit of a gamble, and they've somewhat gambled towards that B bomb site.
Yeah, Nyx has denied a lot of information towards Inners. He's just taking his time. You saw him on the lurk over here in the game against Pain yesterday, but Sixie's found space through Ivy. Complexity lurking through the map, trying to find some timings, and that's exactly what Grim's able to do. Rez all on his lonesome, caught off guard by Sixie inside of spawn. Will end up winning that duel, but Complexity with control of Inners now, getting the bomb down.
Well, let's not forget that Rez has been the standout player for GamerLegion so far at the event. On the other side of the coin, Grim, also alive, has been the standout for Complexity. Great damage from Rez. Tough aim duel for him to win. He doesn't actually get the kill, but does at least manage to push Grim away. He's going to try and play some funny business with the ladder, but at the end of the day, these are some pretty insane post-plant positions for Complexity, so pretty much unwinnable for Rez. He's going to be able to draw the peek out from Grim, but that will be his undoing. So first gun round does go the way of Complexity, and while it was a fantastic start for GamerLegion that was looking really good.
To win a round on the Inners contest like that after the conditioning you've seen from GamerLegion in the first couple of rounds, and now this is where you are going to see Complexity work a little bit more towards Ivy early on. Util exchanged on the outside yard. Complexity trying to disrupt that Pop Dog control.
Ooh, that's awkward. That is a very awkward timing for Slenders. Holzerk gets set up on the line early on in the piece, and now Ivy, a real point of pressure here for Complexity. PR's going to have to pick that one back up, but against an AWP like that, you wouldn't expect him to win that duel. He'll get a little bit more damage as well before he falls, and so that'll make for an easy couple of kills in the end for GamerLegion. CTR and Rez pounce right back into the swing of things. A 3-on-2 now for Complexity to try to negotiate.
They don't know that they have free reign of Inners here. They're really taking their time, contacting down low ramp. JT working towards upper ramp. I mean, Nyx has only got a Mac 10, so he needs to get closer towards CT Con to try to take a duel here. JT trying to get that bomb established on the side as the rotations come in for GamerLegion.
You know, plenty of time to find some post plants. Nyx maybe playing everyone's favorite little cubbyhole. I'm not sure that that's going to work out in a round like this one with ZTR coming down ramp. And that will end up being a pretty straightforward one to pick up for GamerLegion.
And Complexity now in a very sad state of affairs economically. Down to a couple of Galils. Util's a little bit more sparse. And it does seem like the T-Con duel going to be the main point of contest here.
ZTR and Rez set up to defend against this push through from T-Con if it is to come. Sixie's got the bomb in hand. There's the flashes over the top. Grim, nice entry in the end. Had to work for it, but ultimately the trades are coming through thick and fast from GamerLegion, and this round is looking pretty unsalvageable. JT and Holzerk with a lot of work to do, and so far JT really struggling to contribute on that scoreboard.
Rez playing the off angles here. Punishes Holzerk coming out. T-Con just doesn't really feel like Complexity are able to claw their way back into these rounds. Had a little bit of a slow start on some of these individuals in this game.
JT giving away his position here in SL as well. And GamerLegion reacting accordingly, going to set themselves up for a pretty easy round, you'd think. Torsen just watching to see if JT decides he wants to try to work all the way back up into halls. And it's not going to go well for JT again. 5-1 the scoreline here for GamerLegion, and we are
towards outer yard. We've seen that a fair bit lately, but really does seem like an inner play is on the cards here for Complexity.
Yep. GamerLegion reading into that, though. Rotation coming through from Rez. Torsen does lose his head, so this will be the start that Complexity are looking for to try to build their way back into this T side. Util getting dumped over the top. ZTR forced away, and he'll die in that incendiary. Could not get out alive. Nice shot from JT, his first one on the board. And it might be Complexity to get their second. Even though you talked about the money being okay, this is a pretty tough retake for GamerLegion. I suspect they probably just want to save here.
Yeah.
Sticking around, though.
Just looking to see if Complexity is going to feed them any extra kills and they can try to go for this retake. What a shot from PR into the AWP of Halzerk. He's won that duel. They're keeping this really expensive, Jordan.
I don't think they're going to go for it. I don't think they want to go for it. They don't have the time, but as you say, expensive round for sure for Complexity, but I think at this point they don't necessarily care about how expensive it is, as long as they're getting some rounds on the board.
Yeah. It's true. More than enough to be able to reinvest here. JT trying to take the AWP out of Slen's hands right at the last second. It is lost for GamerLegion, so that's going to be a big boon for Complexity. So GamerLegion really just expecting Complexity to respect that Inner's aggression, but they continue going towards Inners. They want to take this fight.
It looks like GamerLegion wants to take the fight as well. JT gets himself an opener, and 60 onto Torsen as well. So that aggression, somewhat calculated aggression from GamerLegion, it was pulled out in the correct round, I guess, but hasn't worked out in the sense that they just lose their duels and Complexity have the player advantage. You've still got PR set up over on the B bomb site, though. So maybe still a chance for GamerLegion to work with this one.
It's been phenomenal so far for GamerLegion, a lot of these series. He's got a lot of work to do all on his lonesome here, playing retake from upper ramp, though.
Yeah, he's just going to tuck. That's why this is such a safe position. You can actually allow them out onto the site and tuck and wait for your teammates to rotate on in. Rez will grab the kill onto 60, but JT pushing his way forward is in a solid position to grab himself at least one. Can become somewhat of a one-and-done position, and that's exactly what it will be, though. That leaves it on to Grim, who's been the standout for Complexity at the event so far, although has had a bit of a slower start today. 4-7. This would be a huge round to win. He's now been spotted out. Slen missing his shots, though. Oh, that is going to open the door up. Defuse is on, though. He's just sitting that defuse, and Grim doesn't get there in time. GamerLegion will win the round. It is incredibly costly, but a 7th now on the CT side.
Much drier on the Util here for GamerLegion. It's a T-Con start for Complexity.
Oh, Rez hasn't been spotted. Somehow they've got all the kills. I don't even know what's going on there. Even my screen was white. And Complexity apparently could not see a thing, because they have just been deleted. JT and Nyx all of a sudden find themselves alone. That round, you blink and you'd miss it.
Yeah. Just a collapse from Slender, I think, straight through a flash. Little unlucky for Complexity, and now just try contacting through the low round smoke. That's not going to work out well at all. Torsen punishing that. Bomb is on the floor in T-Con, and JT's in another bloody postcode. He didn't even rock up to IEM Melbourne. He's in the bloody Sydney airport right now. Playing that pivot position up close, but getting collided by an AWP that's full blind, I believe. I don't know if we'll get to see a replay of that. Is going to be a very unlucky start to a very critical gun round for Complexity. They're going to reinvest straight away. Try to continue to get back into this one, because the loss bonus is still pumping on the T side. They have not had too much success. There it is. He's not even blind.
Oh, it won't be quite such a fast round from Complexity this time. They are down to a grand total of pretty much $0 as well. Big round out here for both teams as Halzerk gets himself the opener. Slender unable to find the trade. Legion on the back foot in round 11.
He's found that opener from Ivy. Aggression into Pop Dog, though. JT needed to double up, but couldn't even find one there. Nyx able to activate on Inners, though. Picks up Slend. Another duel with Torsen on the lower ramp, who's able to trade him back into a 3-on-3 now. But the bomb's still at the back of T-Con here.
CTR does well, almost gets 2. Grim down below half HP. That bomb does have to get retrieved, and that is going to give time for Rez to activate. But so too for Sixy, as he will grab himself the 2-on-1. And it's on to Torsen, who's been very good on the map so far, 11-3. You'd say he's in with a bit of a chance here. He's also taking some space quite early on in the piece before the rotate has come through from Grim, before the cross even. And he's pretty much ready for the retake before that plant's even going to go down. In fact, it's going to be a fake from Complexity, a tap on the A site, and they're going to walk their way through to B, which could be a massive saving grace.
Playing some mind games.
Torsen's aware of it early.
Yeah, he's in hot pursuit. Molly's going to keep him out of CT con on the rotation for a second longer as the backside plant for CT. Can already see Sixy is posted up, waiting for that rotation through Ivy.
Oh, spotted, and the head taken off by Grim. So 8-3 will be the scoreline. And Complexity are indeed in with a chance of making it through to 4.
Better buy this time for Complexity, though. A really good opportunity to snag a 4th round on this T site. Hasn't been the start that they would have wanted.
That is a great start. And Nix might get himself another one here, but PR just catches a nice timing, and now the AWP gets involved on the CT side as well. So quickly it starts to fall back in the other direction as GamerLegion now have the lead. Grim's going to get up to some funny business, but maybe put under pressure, and there should be a trade to come through here. It doesn't even need to be a trade. Slend somehow hitting everything with the AWP in this round, and it's another one that just falls apart for Complexity. A series of unfortunate events, and GamerLegion on this unsurprising pick against them. That's maybe going to break right here, as Complexity have only got 3 rounds in that first half and desperately need to pick themselves up this pistol. And GamerLegion are going to go quickly into the A site, which is actually a little bit more of a retake setup, really. Nix going to try and hold on from Connector. And hasn't managed to land too much, nor JT, but now the kills are starting to come through thick and fast. And this pistol, which was all important for Complexity, may well be going their way, and it's gone their way decisively.
Oh, big 3K from Sixy. He was on fire on this map yesterday against Payne. Although half of that was farming an Australian team, which, as we all know, doesn't count. Inside going to be the point of call here for GamerLegion as they force up into this round despite not getting the bomb down. But this is a very low util buy. 2 smokes and a flash to get through the rest of this round. You see, as a result, they have to just take this contact approach. Shoulder spot from Nix with a molly at the ready. Will buy time for rotations to come in.
I mean, assume that this smoke is just going to be to play firefighter. Instead, they're going to go straight through it. They don't even respect the insend, which is fair enough. Smoke for Connector, Rez for a double entry. And Holzerk as well gets a couple on the way back into B. But that's now a bomb plant with a player creeping into Connector. JT saw him, but Rez takes him out of the picture and now has an M4, which he's going to try to put to good use. Sixy's found himself too, but these players are so low. Holzerk 35, 69, and they don't know exactly where PR is. He's going to have a little bit of a jiggle around, have a little bit of a look. Time starting to tick away, and if he can deny that defuse, they might have won the round. That honestly feels like it probably should have been GamerLegion's round, but Complexity.
Little bit of an investment here with a hero AK on Rez. Some smokes thrown on towards the outside yard. Not taking advantage of them just yet here, though, as Complexity's util is holding them back in T-Con for now.
It really feels like this second half is still very much hanging in the balance, depending on how this round will go. Rez doesn't see JT over the top of that smoke, but Sixty's gone down to a deagle shot from PR, and Legion are really probing at Complexity at the moment.
Oh no!
That Rez is going to be looking for, and trying to tap away for some more. Will eventually fall, but that AK can certainly continue to get recycled. It's in the hands of Slend now.
Yeah, he wants to take another duel towards T-Con. They're trying to isolate him, but Slend is punishing. Traded well by Grim. Complexity cannot afford to lose this round. The last round was so expensive for them. A reset at this juncture in the game. Nix with naught but MP9 on this upper ramp position as GamerLegion stream into the site.
He's been spotted out now as well, and that is going to allow a plant. Grenade will do a bit of damage. In fact, it might get a kill. PR, he's gone straight onto default. I'm not sure about that one. Gives up his life in the end, but plant did go down. Now it's onto ZTR to try to hold on to the oil position as long as he could. Unable to really do much there either. And it looks like Complexity might still be able to get their way through this round safely. P250 stands between them and a round win, and Torsen now down to 50 HP, will be rushed by Nyx. So Complexity hold on, but that really is the statement. They have held on. This is not going to work out for ZTR and Torsen if they try to push their way in through SL. JT honed in, but now a little bit of chaos in the ranks as Slend opens up on the Grim. JT does a good job of trading it back down. A 1-for-1 thus far, but Hallzerk will fall. T-Con pressure coming through. Nades back. Timing from ZTR. Creeping through that smoke will catch JT. And the A site now, the hold looking quite dubious as it is just 6E. He's hoping for that rotate to come through from Nyx, which will be found out by ZTR. Timing on the push, though, is awkward. And there's kills coming back in the favor of Complexity. PR pushing his way through Sandwich as well. It's kind of just fallen apart a little bit for GamerLegion. 2-on-4 from Nyx and 6E.
In response from Complexity, getting a little bit more active on their CT side now.
Oh, that's such awkward timing. 6E going to go down as he tries to push Ivy. So again, you know, we have to reiterate that the money's not great for Complexity at the moment, and even though they're winning these rounds, one quick pickup here from GamerLegion could throw this in a bit of a loop.
Nyx aggressing when the times get tough. He gets tougher, but punished by Rez. 3-on-5 now for Complexity, and GamerLegion are just not really in a rush here. They've been given a bunch of rifles in this round as well. PR's picked up one, M4 being juggled on inners as well. Hallzerk trying to re-aggress here, turn this round back in the favor of Complexity.
Torsen, Mac 10, not going to get it done. And GamerLegion not going to filter one by one to try to challenge the AWP, so they'll give up that one death.
Ooh, I think
got the numbers.
A step might have been heard there by Hallzerk on the trade. So well aware that there's one more committed towards inner. But he's just going to play retake here on inners as the smokes fly in. You will get the rotation through Con here from Grim.
That's a big whiff. Allows GamerLegion out onto the site in relative safety. They'll be able to get the bomb plant down by default. Rez over the top of that smoke, though, couldn't get anything done, and Grim putting the AUG to good use. Long-range fights. And interestingly, it's Hallzerk that's going to push his way forward as the AWP decides the USP is going to be a better prospect here. So far, it's Grim that's doing all the work, but ZTR with the Tech 9, unable to double down. Still, a winnable position here for PR, but he would have needed to win that duel against JT. And again, Complexity just barely get through one of these rounds. You keep looking at them and thinking, GamerLegion
still really hangs in the balance here. GamerLegion with multiple plants and big loss bonus. Do put a really good buy together here, and Complexity still barely hanging on economically. Could be reset at any moment.
Yeah, and Rez is out quickly onto the A side, hiding behind that sandwich smoke at the moment, but just going to pick his timing and catch Grim, who I think might have gone on top of the train. Either way, Nyx down, trades coming through, kills certainly a lot of them for GamerLegion. And Hallzerk will try to pull it back, but Complexity down to just one at the start of round 18, and they've been good at coming back from deficits, but this one surely is the one for GamerLegion to put over the line, finally get themselves their first round in the second half.
Yeah.
Up to double digits and start to put that pressure onto Complexity.
Just another fantastic opener from Rez. 6E from the backside of the train. Going to be given another bit of a freebie. That does confirm his position. He rotates back towards inners, maybe expecting the pivot for GamerLegion. But they will secure this outside site. 6E changing up his angle of approach now.
I mean, he's cooking. He's definitely catching them off guard with his positioning here and there. But this is where it starts to get more and more difficult. As GamerLegion have now taken the space, they'll get the plant down. Time is ticking in their favor, and you could see 6E giving himself every opportunity.
Anticipating some aggression to Pop Dog as a result, but it's actually T-Con that Complexity finds the push. So they have taken some space and are getting a bit of a flank on. The longer that GamerLegion take here, the closer these players get on the flank.
Grim's on his way over, and he's seen them all. He's waiting, biding his time. There's the execute. Push through. He doesn't get a single kill. Unbelievable. And Complexity now in a shambles as they try to hold on to the B bomb side. But it is looking like this map of Train is about to be silenced by GamerLegion.
Rez is just deleting everyone right now. 21 and 11. Just been decimating them on the aggressive T-side rifle, as was expected of him. was a highlight player before we started the game for a reason. And he might be able to get another one here. JT will finally put him down and pick up an AK, but that is the only silver lining here for Complexity, really, is just some damage as he's gone down to 19 HP. Probably just needs to try to hold on to this rifle if he can, but he's being locked in right now by Slend from T-Con potentially. And Torsen's going to run him down. 11's up for GamerLegion. That's a reset on Complexity right at the end of the map here. Quite heavily towards Inners. That has been a big point of contest in this game, and you've seen a lot of Inners endings in the mid-round for GamerLegion. And as we head right towards the end of the game here, they're trying to mix things up.
Yeah, nice space being taken by GamerLegion. PR's going to walk through the smoke, though, and 60's waiting for that. We're not done yet. 4 on 5, now needing to be negotiated by GamerLegion, and JT in a, I would say, reasonably unorthodox position is not going to be checked by ZTR at all. That's a handy round so far for Complexity.
Slend pinned into the corner here. Will be smoked off, which does kind of save him. Doesn't get spammed on the way out either. The other players on GamerLegion have got some control of Inners, but Complexity with a deep position inside a T-Con, feeling quite safe on this outer site for now. Double push coming in through Pop Dog, though.
Ooh, Rez gets the better of JT. Molly's going to push them away. They've only got 24 seconds here. If they're going to take the site, they have to do it now. Bomb is towards T-Con. No, sorry, it's in the hands of Slend.
Yeah.
And he's working his way towards B.
Might just be a save. Just holding on to the AWP and a couple of AKs.
Grim on the hunt. He's going to get himself one. Damage is going to be done here.
It could die after time. He's died after time.
One of them, at least.
That's 3k for Slend. You cannot afford to replace that AWP. That's huge from Grim.
So, might not be able to set up this entry into A, but it will be an entry into A. Make no mistake about that one. ZTR, his elbow spotted. He tossed a grenade. Complexity very well aware that this is going to end up being an A hit. It's going to be an all-out brawl as those flashes come over the top. It's Slend that have tossed them. But 60 and Grim holding strong for the moment, and ZTR's position a tenuous one with only 4 HP. Grim needs to be dug out, and he will be. With 35 seconds left on the clock, this might well end up being the final round of the map, as it's on to Nyx to keep Complexity alive. And that flank coming in around behind him will be a huge problem, a massive problem in the end, as that is indeed going to be Complexity's combo on train being broken. 10 in a row, but not 11. GamerLegion will take map 1.
On this map, they're used to winning them. We'll see who's going to start off well.
Well, it's already looking like a pretty good setup for Complexity, because they're going to go towards B, and there's only one player over there. It's a retake setup, actually, from GamerLegion. And they are going to allow that bomb plant to go down quite quickly. This is, I think, a difficult round to negotiate now for the CT side. They don't have a defuse kit. They've got one flash in the hands of Slend. And they've already lost a couple of players. Holzerk picking up Rez and PR. And this will be the start to the map that Complexity would have wanted. It was rough on map 1. They did drop it, but there's still a chance for them in this series. And starting off in that kind of fashion is exactly how you do it.
Yeah, I think that's going to fill them with a lot of confidence. Force bind response, though, for GamerLegion. See if they can cause a little bit of an upset here with the point of contest being cheetah.
It's going to go through and do not as much as I thought that it would. Nyx under pressure, and he will fall. So 1 for 1 here for GamerLegion as they try to work their way back into the round. Slender's doing a pretty good job. Oh my god! He's got JT as well through that smoke. So all of a sudden, the circumstances changed for a second, but Holzerk being able to get that kill on a PR has got Slend just locked in here in Cave, and with 2 HP on the MP9, there's just no way you're going to win this duel. He's done a damn good job of it, though. Gets the headshot onto Holzerk, and could have made for an interesting one, but in the end, Complexity will take their second round.
Yeah, another pacey approach straight towards that B site. No AWP on the T side here for Complexity to start things off. Just going to stick to the rifle-centric gameplay. It's been quite a pacey T side from them. This time, both teams investing a fair bit of resources in middle. Flashes up over the top, create an opportunity for JT to take advantage of. Beautiful molly, flushing out a player from Cubby there, but PR evening up the numbers into a messy 3-on-3. A lot of gaps on the map to exploit here for Complexity on the T side, and they're going to turn their attentions towards A. 60 left behind at Shelf.
Yeah, definitely worth talking about PR as well. We've been focusing, I think, a lot on Rez, which makes sense considering how he was playing on map 1. But PR was actually really good in that game against 3D Max as well. And he's picked up the kill onto 60. Unfortunately for ZTR, just half a second too late. But still maintains the 2-on-2. And this map might be led by PR for GamerLegion.
They're a little out of position. Slen does have the AWP on the rotation. Flank coming in from Nyx. So with that smoke slowing the CTs down here, he's going to have time to get a successful flank off.
We're going to walk through it. Tap on the defuse right here from PR would actually be pretty big. He's going to pop it. There's a smoke down now as well. Position of at least Halzer given away, but Nyx now as well walking his way on through. Should have this one cleaned up. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a huge whiff. Everybody's whiffing. Hit some shots, guys. No way.
Oh my god.
Do something. Get the knife out. Anything. That's egregious. That's really bad.
How has he got a 10-second defuse off there? That is ridiculous. Really wanting to let Complexity stew in that one. Kind of sending the message that they've cooked the goose a little bit. But Complexity with the bomb plant and a nice early start here. Once again, it's the mid-contest that JT wins for the second time. And this time there's no response from PR just yet.
Okay. Well, that'll be a good way to respond if you're Complexity, because that's the round over. 30 seconds into it.
I mean, you could see GamerLegion wanted that early mid-contest. They wanted to go a little bit more favorable for them, and then maybe this double A flank would have got involved in the round a little bit better, but as it stands, Complexity is all over that one. Should go up 4-1. So if there's any way to reset the mental after someone sticks a 10-second defuse right in your face, it's a dominant round win like that to reset the CT economy.
I mean, GamerLegion, without let's be real, a lucky round. If that was a lucky round win, that last one, would now be down 5-0. And these rounds have looked really quite solid from Complexity so far.
It's nice from Torsen, peeking in with the flash. Punishing Nyx, going for the hunt. The rest of Complexity also trying to hunt Torsen down. They know exactly where he is, but they don't have the time to convert.
Doesn't matter in the end, though, as we are now into round number 7 with the scoreline at 5-1 and another buyback through from GamerLegion.
Mid-contest again from both of these teams. This duel on Shelf, very important for 60 to win, to deny any pressure on that side of things. And trades once again back and forth at the early round. PR's had some impact there. Torsen getting active on B ramp now.
Ooh. It's just a massive brawl, isn't it? Info somewhat given there for Slend as he spots the player out in cave, and that will allow Torsen to activate on ramp. He can't quite double down, though. Nick's getting that kill. Very lucky, but PR's also on the flank here. Don't know if he's been heard. He made a little bit of noise there, and they have certainly locked their guns in on the doors. Yeah, they're aware. They're very aware. 60 will get the kill onto PR. And now it's just Slend. Who is unable to hit that shot, and that might just give Complexity the round. Oh, no. There was a chance for Slend. Sure. But Torsen's playing it patiently so far.
It is posted. Trying to take advantage of his positioning. Grim pushed off the line by a nade, though. You can tell GamerLegion's aware of the pressure, but they're not over-responding to it. The rotation is coming in, nonetheless. But this is definitely a skirmishy approach from Complexity, where they're looking for opening picks, and that's a beautiful nade to blow open the smoke from Grim. Slend responding on the B side of the map, but Nyx has found a gap.
Slend has got to be dead right here, right? Nyx, perfect. Oh, almost brilliant. Won't be able to crack open the B bomb site, though, and that is now a round that is starting to favor GamerLegion for what feels like the first time on the map.
Yeah, PR still cutting the middle of the map right now.
It looks like ZTR is going to have a little bit of a peek. Get himself over to the right side of Donut. And here's that bomb plant going down. Flash over the top. Not going to prompt out any push just yet from GamerLegion. They're playing it quite safely, waiting for that rotation indeed to come through. Now smoke down. Polzerk's line. Not a bad one, though. And Grim will finish off the tag. It's Rez down early. We're back into the 2-on-2, and Grim will not be making the same mistake twice. He's got the knife out straight away. It's not going to happen, though, as PR will just knock him over. And this time a bit more of a routine defuse from GamerLegion.
After one of those key timeouts for GamerLegion, where you had a big streak of rounds for Complexity, they pushed in as that time. Didn't go for the mid-contest. Bit more of a skirmishy style where they're looking for picks, and now they're going back to what was working for them early. It's just straight up a B execute.
Slend really under pressure, can't see anything, just has to back up into the safety of Cave, but that works out nicely. Big crossfire between him and Torsen, prompting the first couple of kills of the round, but now it's on to ZTR, and Rez once again comes through for a nice double.
GamerLegion set up so well to deal with that fast B plate. Mid-contest to start things off. GamerLegion not wanting to take that same duel. It hasn't gone well for them in the opening parts of some of these rounds. So they'll respect it for now and give Complexity some control of middle.
Nice shot. Holzerk knocking Rez over. And Rez has not been up to his usual standard at this event on this map. 4 and 8 for him so far. Leaving a little bit to be desired. Slend just deleted by Holzerk, who's taking this round away from GamerLegion one shot at a time. B site almost cracked open, and Torsen jostling on that site alone. He's got some assistance from that smoke on ramp, but he needs to be hitting his shots here, and that's just not going to happen. So that'll be a round over, despite the best attempts of PR and ZTR. I mean, round over might have been a bit of a stretch, 1 on 2. But it's definitely a tough one for him to win with only 46 HP. He's going to give it a crack anyway. And working his way forward. Looking for Holzerk. Holzerk's looking for him. 3 kills in the round. 3 very good ones as well. And Complexity put one more on the pile.
Chance to inflict the same first half that GamerLegion just did on their map pick. And once again, mid being the point of contest.
Push coming through, and it's deleted this time around. GamerLegion have figured out how to hold on to mid. It's going to be late in the half, but they are going to get themselves to a 4th by the looks of things here. Holzerk will, of course, see what he can do. I think he's been spotted out. Yeah. And so Slend will be the benefactor of the final kill of the half, and it looks like he wants to go for a knife. He's really just having a bit of fun with him. That is so illegal, man. It's all good and fun in the end. 8-4 is the first half score, favoring Complexity.
See the crossfire with JT towards Red Room as the smokes fly out into 8.
Patience a virtue for 60 at the moment, and he will remain unchecked. That is crazy. They have not checked that corner. Finally, Rez will get himself the kill, but this is not the start to the second half that GamerLegion have needed, unless Rez is just going to activate, pick up a couple of kills walking his way into A, and now all of a sudden we have a bomb plant 2 on 2 with Holzerk on 6 HP. Very winnable round now for GamerLegion, especially if Torsen could have got that kill, but he's not hit a single shot. Rez, though, should be able to get it done, and of course he will. 4 kills. Rez was one of the driving forces behind that 9-0 start against 3D Max, and it looks like he's going to do it again here on the T side against Complexity.
He just absolutely destroyed them on the T side of train as well. Rez is once again activated right from the start of this T-side on Ancient, and that's got to be worrying for Complexity. Had a couple of force buy-in for Complexity. A little bit of aggression over towards this A side of the map from Grim. JT straight down bottom mid already. Grim wins his duel inside of A main. JT as well getting involved. The spray from the Deagle is beautiful, traded by Rez.
Oh, and 60's going to get Rez. This is problems. Very big problems. Slend. I mean, a 1v4 is a bit much to ask as the swing's going to come through, and that will be 9 for Complexity. Just as GamerLegion look like they want to start getting rolling on the T side.
Takes that duel in A main and all the way back around to Donut. Force buy in response for GamerLegion, taking some shelf control and wanting to pinch mid, perhaps, in the mid round here.
JT making it look pretty easy so far with that Khalil, though he's going to cop a couple of binks, and all of a sudden we're right back into Force Buy Mania as 2 quick kills come through from Torsen and ZTR, and Holzerk's not going to be able to get the kill just yet. He's putting some damage down onto Rez, but eventually he is going to be flooded on the site. ZTR giving a bit of a helping hand to Complexity here with that team kill onto Rez, but it's not going to be enough to deny the bomb plant, you'd think. And that is going down now. 60 fast on the flank through Temple has definitely been heard. There's smoke coverage on this bomb site as well, but 60 does not care. He's got X-ray vision apparently because he's going to pick 2 up. And now it's just on PR, who himself will be smoked off.
Up the org. Both of them have kits, but 60 is critically low right now.
Oh,
not again. Surely not again.
Painful. The whiffs are painful. The body blocks in as well, and that's going to be a round for Complexity. That was super winnable for GamerLegion.
Look, GamerLegion have secured minimum control. They've got mid. They forced out a smoke over on Cheetah. Now we just got to see where they're going to move to in the mid round here. 60 reinforcing middle. It might look like Complexity wants to fight here.
PR need this opener. They need to do better than that. That needs to be traded. This is just looking like it's going to be a map falling by the wayside for GamerLegion, as Complexity are making it look really easy in this round.
Yeah.
It's just individual duels.
I mean, Rez doing his best to try to bail them out of a bad situation, but there's so many CTs here. Just swinging up towards Shelf together. And 60 will clean it up. That is the 4th or 5th round this game that JT has multi-fragged in mid self-sufficiently. This dude is on fire right now. Keep Complexity interested in middle, but they're still reinforcing this B site. There's still 3 CTs here. Just playing retake now, though.
Holzer can't see anything. He's still getting tossed on in. It's an attempt. Definitely an attempt from GamerLegion, but that's about all you could say about that round. Bombs dropped. It's up to PR to try to save the map, but I think it's going to be somewhat of an anti-climax here on Ancient, as GamerLegion just never really got going. But PR towards the bottom of the ramp here. He might find a 1v1 duel against Holzerk, which he'll be able to win. So that's the start of a 1v3. Ooh, and very nearly a nice timing on the spam through there as well. Could have caught JT with it.
Yeah, the bomb's loose. Smoke coming in. Actually cutting the CTs in half here might create an opportunity for PR to find a one-on-one.
He's doing a pretty good job of finding the 1v1 so far. But Nick's just not really going to give him that opportunity. Backs up through the smoke and decides to play for the retake if it should come to that. Smoke now fading. It's going to make it very difficult for PR to get a plant down with 25 seconds. He really wants to try to find a way to isolate one of these duels, but he's just biding his time. He's waiting patiently, and he's not quite rewarded for it. So 13-5 will be the score, and it is Complexity that will push us through to map 3.
Yeah, beautiful game from them. JT in particular, I feel like was the standout, although it was an effort by committee here for Complexity. The IGL, yep, just set up in lobby, seeing if there's going to be any aggression from the CTs to start things off. At some point, you are going to see the movements towards ramp. 60 getting in an aggressive position towards Hut, and in comes the ramp push. Just full circles being spun around, just throwing PR off. He can't connect the shot on the cross, and Complexity's going to start going towards lowers now.
Oh, and 60's picked a perfect timing as well, catching ZTR, but difficulties down on the B-bomb site are going to mean Complexity might be getting knocked out of this pistol round without actually not too much difficulty from GamerLegion. 60 will fall as well, and the way that one started, you'd have thought, okay, Complexity are in with a really good chance, but...
I mean, Wall of Smoke invested to get these positions here for Complexity, but what will they do with them? It's an important duel for PR to win. Clearing out the lurk of Nyx inside a lobby. This T-side now gets a little bit more one-dimensional, looking for a play towards ladder base for 60 and the rest of the boys in lowers.
Slend waiting to receive. It's got the MP9 in hand, ready for a bit of cash money, but that is not the kind of cash money he was looking for. JT bags it. The headshot onto Slend, and that'll be a bomb plant allowed as well. So a little bit being done in this round by Complexity, and Holzerk, all he really needs to do here is hit himself one headshot and things could get really nasty. JT, in the end, is the one that's going to get that one done, but tags coming through from that scout as well. This round starting to get a bit scary for GamerLegion as Grim chimes in too, and it's on to Torsen. 1v1, he's got 15 bullets left in the A1S, but no smoke, no nothing, and Grim will finish it off for Complexity. Armor across the board.
Throwing the rifle on Rez. That's the man who You want it in his hands. It's been a standout so far. In comes the Annex split towards uppers now.
Grim being patient. He's got his teammates behind him, but there's a fairly hefty stack up on this A bomb site, and CTR getting himself that kill. He's going to drop down to Hut. PR will fall in the meanwhile, but Rez has found a good timing to activate. Double kill with the M4A1S, and now we're back to a 1-on-2, and GamerLegion might be able to bounce back right in the same fashion as what Complexity was able to do in the previous.
That's bingo for Nyx. All players confirmed in uppers, but not quite caught on the timing. You can see ZTR's got an inkling that that's going to be the movement back around towards Heaven. Might catch a really nice flank timing onto Nyx.
Will indeed. Maybe a headshot to boot. And that is GamerLegion to take round number 2 for themselves.
No one really committed towards holding outside here. It's just one player in Annex keeping an eye on things.
This could get awkward for Rez. Forewarned that they're coming, but it's not going to matter as Grim just bangs his head off. That's the danger of the Tech 9s. Trouble is, once they get into the longer range fights, they do struggle, but trades are still good. As Sixy and Grim are set up for at least something in this round. CTR down the bottom of the vent won't have to come into play as PR with a cheeky timing will get both, but that was a bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, touch and go there for a second.
And this is now where Rez has to come into play as the smoke still a little away from fading. PR almost gets the timing wrong with the nade in hand.
Oh.
It has allowed them actually out into ramp, but PR doing a good job of getting the kill onto JT. There's still numbers falling around the map for Complexity. Grim brings it back. ZTR, was he spotted there by Nyx? I think he might have been. The swing's going to come through together. Nice trade from Holzer. Back to the 2-on-2. Again, these rounds are really just coming down to the wire. That's great coverage from Grim. And Torsen quickly in from Decon. Has now been heard. Holzerk on his bike. Won't be collected by that grenade. Grim up on top of the silo. Unexpected, and Torsen's not happy about it. There'll be another round on the board for Complexity as they get underway on the T side of Nuke.
That was a round where Complexity just had no util left over. And you could say the same for GamerLegion here this time. Down to 5-7s and an AWP.
Well, 5-7's doing some work. GamerLegion are not giving up control of this half at all. 5-2 as quick as you like. Yeah, Complexity slowing things down quite a lot on this T side now. Maybe not waiting too long in this round. Minute 20 on the clock as they toss all of that out onto the A bomb side. It's a fake more than anything. PR has to be prepared in ramp. He'll actually only get himself one, and that's a pretty bad miss from Slen, but he does survive. CTR is definitely under pressure down on B, as that swing's going to come through, but he answers it nicely, just overstays his welcome and gets knocked over by Holzerk, who's going to decide to try and plant the bomb.
Rez applying pressure, trying to blow open the smoke and pick them on the cross. JT and Megaton picks himself up, an M4 flank coming in from Torsen. That's an important tool.
Well, timing hasn't worked out for JT. Not this time. And it leaves Holzerk solo, but feels like kind of a winnable round. Bombs planted for him. He's going to open the doors. He won't get the shots in onto Slent, though, who makes amends for a pretty egregious miss up on the A bomb side. This time, clean shot from him. And defuse secured. 7-2. GamerLegion are looking fantastic on this CT side of Nuke now.
Onto the side itself and traded their way into a favorable situation.
Oh, Rez. Nice damage onto JT and Grim, but not the kill that he's looking for. He might be able to finish the job right here, holding on to Annex as he gets the better of JT and then Grim. The day continues nicely for Rez. He might have fallen off a little bit for map number 2, but map 3 he is right back on form.
Complexity getting absolutely slaughtered right now.
No. Well, pistols and a bit of armor to try and punch something through, but Torsen locking down Hart and making it look easy. Oh my god, what a round from Torsen. 4, and it's just like, he's in flow state.
Yeah. JT, the only one left alive. Bombs loose. He's found himself a rifle at least. These are the kind of missed rounds that you want to try to take advantage of if you're Complexity, and GamerLegion have let a few of them go begging with some poor spacing in some of these situations.
But C4 on the A-bomb side, so he's going to have to continue on this trajectory and has now been seen. Rez will calm that over to his teammates, and job gets more difficult as he'll try to work his way in through Annex, but yeah, it's pretty impossible at that point. 9-2 is starting to look like an impossible scoreline to come back from as well.
See if Complexity can scrape anything towards the end of this T side. 1 round left to do it. Such a dynamic CT side being played here by GamerLegion. Torsen, aggressive inside a hut. You need to see recovery from some of these individuals in this game, because otherwise it's going to be done and dusted. It's really an effort by committee. There is no weak link on GamerLegion individually in this game right now. So they got to pass the firepower test, or this one's going to be over. Look at this aggression towards lobby side.
Yeah, they're feeling confident. Nyx will be traded down. But that's a lot of players to dedicate to a lobby push, and as a result, Complexity are reading into that and going to move pretty quickly in through outer. What?
Yeah, Slam.
That's missed.
He's missed a couple of sitters so far this series. That's another example of it.
Don't like that. This might start to fall apart a little bit for GamerLegion. PR gets himself a nice little kill in there, but still 3-on-3, and Slen's position is fairly untenable. Going to be some re-aggression. Oh, into Annex, and Torsen's going to drop as well. JT just frying him.
Bomb's gone uppers. Oh, Complexity really need this round. That's an important shot from Hulzerk. They've turned a messy situation into one that's favorable for them. 1v3 from PR. He's been hurt as well. Hulzerk's posted up. That's an easy closeout for Complexity. Lovely stuff from them. A little bit of recovery, but that was a dominant half from GamerLegion as we head into the halftime break.
1 round towards the back end, though, for Complexity that you thought maybe GamerLegion would be able to close out at 10-2. Could that 1 round make a difference here? Let's see what Complexity can do to start things off on this CT pistol even. Hulzerk hits a pixel shot, but good start for him. Unfortunately, it's going to fall away. Oh my god, this round has just... What? Torsen got a jumping kill on a Nyx there?
Oh my god. It's just Torsen and Rez combining.
They've got a little bit to do it with. Smattering of weapons and util, but GamerLegion are going to go fast in... Straight on into the ramp room, and Rez, that is unbelievable that he's been able to get 2 there. It's destiny. It feels like destiny that GamerLegion are going to win this series. Unfortunately, something is working against Complexity. It's a nice win for Grim individually to get an opening kill, but there's just nothing more than that. JT, he's going to have to do some real work here. Good trade in. And where's Sixy?
He's in ramp. Desk is still intact, but barely. It's barely holding together. I might just save the MP9, although they haven't got the bomb down, so maybe he's thinking the pivot might come towards uppers. He's kind of second-guessing himself here. Has got a kit, so even if he takes his time here, he just doesn't know, does he? And I think it's a good move. Like, with GamerLegion taking this long, you're expecting a long wrap around through either Annex from Secret or Heaven, but neither has happened, unfortunately.
Well, Rez is low. And PR is tagged, so this is not impossible for Sixy, and he's got a bit of time to work with. Has a defuse kit as well. Post-plant positions, though, are really quite nice, and so he's going to have to start to pick the pace up here a little bit. Going to try and clear out Dark with that molly. Not aware, though, that there's a player right behind him. Nice flick on a Rez. Flash into the door. Going to sit the defuse. He's going to gamble on it. It might be enough. The pick's not come through. You're kidding me. Sixy's going to win that round and give Complexity a snowball's chance in hell, but it's better than nothing. It's true. That may be a brief moment of respite or hope for Complexity. But Hulzerk doing some real work here on outer. He'll fall. He's got some good damage down, but no kill. So 5-on-4 will ensue.
See if JT can capitalize on the peppering from Hulzerk there. See GamerLegion falling away back towards lobby side. Nyx has had absolutely no luck in this game, especially if you're taking a heads-up duel with Rez. PR trying to defend lobby will repel the CTs for now, but Grim has taken some space.
Flash, going to be a real problem for him. Turned away from it, but didn't quite go anti-flash. And PR has just walked his way in, one-man army style, and decimated Complexity.
So unfortunate for Grim. He copped the team flash there. The first one was a team flash. And because of the team flash, he cannot see the second flash that gets lobbed underarm there for GamerLegion, and he gets cleaned up. He was the only one that could make that round work.
It's 12-4. GamerLegion 1 round away. Going to go for the peak. There's no flash to set him up. There's nobody else on outer. This is all just on JT. Molly spreading. Not spreading far enough to push him away from his position. Now Halzer comes back across. Some damage onto JT, but his timing is impeccable. He's got one, and he's happy with that. He's going to back off, drop the smoke, take the space. Halzer did go down in the meanwhile, though, and that is going to be GamerLegion starting to make their way through to a ladder base. Rez will accelerate for that kill onto Nyx. And 3 kills away from keeping themselves alive in IEM Melbourne is GamerLegion.
Yeah, slowing this one down. Waiting for more mistakes here from Complexity, but now it is the regroup. The Annex and Heaven split onto 60 and uppers.
Nice headshot out from ZTR. Grim's going to fall as well. And it is just JT, a player who had a really good map too, but would have to do some kind of magic trick to keep Complexity alive in this map and in IEM Melbourne. And I think he's decided to go for the disappearing act, as he's just hidden himself there at door, but it's not going to work out at all. And GamerLegion will take the series. They knew it was coming. It was a foregone conclusion for a while there, and they will survive another game in that lower bracket.